Greetings and welcome. I am Dr. Teresa Denise, and welcome to Wednesday. So, normally I do this on Instagram live Wednesdays, sometime in the morning ish area, but I don't know. I have to go with my gut on a lot of things these days and trust what is being expressed and what's coming in and what's going out my body around. So I will be creating these videos on YouTube and then posting some reels and things on Instagram. Instagram is a very quick, fast moving energy. And I sometimes have a difficulty in keeping up with the fast movement energy, not because I cannot be fast moving, but because sometimes I just want to go slow. Okay. I'm a Pisces, I'm a fish. I like to just go with the flow, right? And sometimes the flow is fast, and sometimes the flow is slow. And sometimes there's no flow at all, just kind of sitting in the waters. So thought I'd come back to my YouTube channel. So I created my YouTube channel right before COVID in 2019 to promote products and talk about, just wellness overall and in general. And then 2020 happened and I started to do content that I felt was helpful for those who were experiencing mental health needs and challenges and strengths and limitations and all of those things. And then life just continued to shift and shape for me. And so I feel like I abandoned this YouTube channel, but I'm back. I want to grow it. I want to see it successful. I want it to bloom and I want to bloom. And so this hopefully is a message for everyone out there that it's never too late. So long as you have air in your lungs and the sun on your face, you can do anything. So, alrighty, today is new moon. All right. I'm going to be doing the same setup that I would normally do on YouTube or that I used to do here, which was talk a little bit about astrology, talk a little bit about mental health, pull some cards. I have tarot cards, I have oracles, I have just cards that I just like to play with, motivational cards, inspirational cards, yoga cards. It just depends on what the mood is. As always, though, never underestimate the power of the ancestors. They are here. They are truly here. And yeah, we can have a discussion. You can feel free to leave comments, ask questions, reach out to me. I am available. But for today, I am here to celebrate and support the new moon. Now, my finger is a little bruised, okay? I have a pet, I have two pets. One is a dog, and he is rough, okay? 5 months old, rough and tough. And actually today is his 5-month birthday. Um, it's a new moon, but he's giving full moon energy, okay? So, so this new moon is in Leo now, but later on this evening, the moon is going to cycle into Virgo, all right? I have my card, so I'm looking down here with all of my notes. So the new moon is in Leo. And if you know anything about Leo, Leo is the sign of I will, okay? It's will, it's willpower, it's motivating, it's self-motivating, it's self-starting, it's self-sufficient, right? So it's about will, I will. Right now, the moon is currently in I will. Also, the moon went void course at the same time it peaked in its new moon fullness. Just gonna turn my phone mute. At the same time that it went new moon fullness. So it peaks, right? It peaks at the full moon where there's a huge gravitational pull, tons of energy, just light shining brightly. But it also peaks when it's a new moon, right? When there's no light, there's still a strong gravitational pull. There's still lots of energy. It's just that hidden energy, or that energy that is more shadowy, or just not as outwardly open and expressive. New moons are about creating new intentions. It's about setting new standards, creating new goals, making a new wish list, asking for, calling in the things that you really want, i.e. intend to have come to pass, right? In 2 more weeks, we'll have the full moon. So whatever we're setting now in this full moon energy, we are setting it with the expectation that by the full moon, we'll receive it. However, the moon also went void course. So at 5:38 a.m. Eastern time, which would be 3:38 Pacific time, right? Maybe 2:38 Pacific and 3:38 Mountain Standard and 4:38 Central. The moon went void course, and that's a moment of pause. That's a moment of just reflect. Typically, maybe tons of folks were sleeping, maybe you weren't, maybe you got woken up, maybe you at some point got into the REM sleep and started dreaming very vividly. Who knows, right? This is Eastern Standard Time, right? So this could be someone who's watching from Tokyo, right? And they have a completely different experience because it's already things happening through their day. But it's a moment of pause. It's a moment of reflection. It's a moment of rest. And then later on tonight, the moon goes into Virgo at 7:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so at that time, it's out of its void course, it's out of its pause, it's into a whole new sign. And Virgo is about I analyze. So we're taking the will into the thought. We're taking the mid part of consciousness, of ability, of knowing, and we're putting it deeper into the subconscious, or we're working at how to activate it in different spheres of our brain, right? Or different spheres of our spirit, different spaces for us to say, okay, here are the things that I think about. Here's the things that I want. How do I make that happen, right? The fact that it's also happening during a new moon is like, people get ready, right? People get ready. Let's get into this space where we can fully expand and grow if we choose. There is a major aspect that is happening today, and then I'm going to go into 1, 2, 3, 4 other aspects that'll be happening for the next few days. First, the major aspect that's happening today is the moon is conjuncting with the sun, all right? And when the moon conjuncts with this, so the moon is about intuition, and the sun is our life force. It is our self-expression, is how we show up in the world. And so the moon, our intuition, is conjuncting with the sun, and a conjunct is 0 degrees. That means 2 planets, 1 energy, right? They are right here with each other, thus making this day a new moon, right? What's a conjunction? A conjunction is amplified energy. When you think about a conjunction in the English language or certain dialects, right? It's 2 or more things or instances or events that occur at the exact same time. Do not, right? Do it and then don't do it. Think about what you want to do and then stop yourself. Don't do it, right? Do not open that cabinet. Do not eat that last piece of whatever, right? So when we think about the conjunction for today, we have 2 planets becoming 1 big energy, or 2, maybe not planets because we're talking about the moon and the sun. So 2 forces, 2 energies, 2 experiences, 2 bodies becoming 1 energy, right? Your intuition and your self-expression today is having a major impact. Again, we have Leo, I will, that's going to be shifting later on in today into Virgo, which is I analyze. You have the ability to will yourself and then to reflect on what that self is. All right. I want to get into a little bit of also for today, and then the next 3 days, right? So we have any full moon or new moon energy. We have 3 days before, boom, 3 days after, right? That's when we want to capitalize. So we essentially have about a week to get our lives together. You don't have to worry about the day, but you do want to try to see about, what's that energy for the time. So we have a trine that's going to be happening. We have a couple of trines. One I think is really specific, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4 trines that are going to be happening today, the 16th, the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th. Then we won't see a trine for a little while, right? And a trine is 120 degrees. So it's a trine, right? And a trine is a cooperation. This is when two entities, two bodies, two sources are cooperating to harmonize, right? A trine is 120 degrees, and it's based on this like Ptolemaic aspect, and I'll get into that on another day, but for today, just understand and ask questions if you like. A trine is 120 degrees. So you think about a triangle shape, right? You have the angles. I only have 2 hands, but you have an angle. You have an angle at the top, at the side, and the side. You have a nice harmonious way of connecting and supporting or receiving support from that thing, right? So when you look at a trine 120 degrees, one aspect is working in cooperation, the other aspect is working within harmony, and it's creating a balance, okay? So on the 16th, which is today, we have Mars trining Uranus. Mars is the planet that looks at assertiveness, or it gives that energy of assertiveness. And Uranus is about freedom, right? So you have assertiveness and freedom, cooperating and harmonizing. How for today will you allow yourself the chance, the ability to be assertive with your freedoms? Or how on today are your freedoms assertively bringing you into your awareness, your needs, your wants? Now, the word free may be different from freedom, right? Or it may be felt differently. And perhaps this is a time to really assert your free, right? To create your freedom. What is it that you have privilege to, with, for, in? Where are your privileges? Where is your worth, right? And how are you understanding that and moving through that? And I'm going to get a little bit more specific as to how to see that in a moment. But I want to get through these trines first. So then you have on the 17th, which is tomorrow, Thursday, you have Mars trining Jupiter. Okay, so Mars, or excuse me, the moon trining Jupiter. The moon, again, our intuitive nature. The moon is speaking to that gut. The moon is it doesn't need a lot of validation. What you feel, what you believe, what you trust to be true, you don't need someone to say, like, is this real? You have to learn how to believe it. So perhaps today you get that assertiveness in self, so that tomorrow when your intuition is kicking up, or it's, it's moving into its position, that trine of Jupiter is about expansion and luck. So you can get into your intuition and use that to expand your perspective, your reality, your needs, your wants, your desires. But understand, when you align with you, you're lucky. When you are trusting and you have done the work to practice how and what does it look like to know thy own self, you expand, right? And so on the 18th, we have that same trine occurring. plus, right? So this will be Friday. So we have that same trine occurring, plus we have the moon trining with Uranus. Hello, Uranus is today, and it's going to come back around, but this time it's going to be with the moon. So when it comes back around, it's going to be intuitively looking at freedoms. Today, we're assertively looking at freedoms. Today, we're saying, I don't care, come hell or high water, this is what's going to happen, right? By Friday, it's, I don't chase, I attract, right? I don't have to do all of the extra work or the things because it's coming to me. I believe it because I recognize that I am worth it. Take a sip. My coffee has cloves and a cinnamon stick in it, so sometimes the cloves come up. By the way, on the 19th, we have the moon trining with Mercury. So again, our intuition is at an all-time high, all right? This is not a time to doubt ourselves. This is not a time to second guess. This is not a time to be in our feelings in a way that is helpless or doubtful or fearful. This is a time to trust. No matter how wild you may see it, you have to now believe it, right? Leo says, I will. Strong, right? Assertive, which is where Mars is today. Virgo comes in and says, I analyze. I can sit back. Don't worry about it. It's up here. It's in here. It's in here, right? Because when Mars trines with Mercury, when Mars creates this harmonious, cooperative energy with communication, it comes in fast. It's speedy. It's all the things that you've thought about, all the things that you've internally expressed, it's present, right? It's a blessing because you also have to see and understand that Jupiter is here. Okay, and Jupiter is here on Thursday, Thursdays are Jupiter days. So Jupiter is coming to its own place, to its own self, and saying, yes, you can trust this, you can believe this, this is real, right? So those are the trines that are happening. Now, how do you work specifically with this energy? I'm speaking in generalities, right? But if you really want to understand how to work specifically with this energy, I am suggesting that you go and grab your birth chart. There are tons of places that help you with your birth charts. There are some pretty cool apps out there, like someone was telling me about the Oracle, I think it's called, or Oracle. There's also Astro Matrix. There is the Pattern. There's tons. So if you have some suggestions for some good ones, leave it in the description box. So how do we work with these trines for ourselves specifically over the course of this next week? Get out your birth chart and take a look at these three factors or aspects that are in your chart. Take a look at your Mercury, take a look at your Jupiter, and then take a look at your Uranus. I say that, but I remember growing up as a kid, we used to say Uranus, and then and you used to hear it everywhere, like Uranus, Uranus, Uranus. And then one day I remember watching the Magic School Bus, and Phoebe, you know, the one who's always at my own school, she said Uranus. And I was like, what planet? Yeah, I was a kid. What planet is that? They have new planets out? That's crazy. But it wasn't. They just wanted us to stop saying Uranus. But don't spell it like that. Anyway, Uranus. So Mercury is about intellect. It's about communication, as I stated. So you want to take a look at where Mercury is in your house because Mercury is about your communication style. So I'm going to give you some examples of how to do this more specifically. And I'm getting out, I have my 2023 astrological pocket planner. It's a daily ephemeris and aspectarian. This is really cool. Just if you're interested in knowing, like, I'll show you this. So it has like all of everything that happens all the days of every single day of the month for 2 years from 2022 to 2024. And then it also shows you the ephemeris, which is more of specifically in the degrees, in the houses that something may be, that every single planet may be. So from the sun, the moon, to the different nodes, it shows you Mercury, Venus, Mars, all those planets. It even shows you Sirius, Pallas, Juno, Vesta, and Chiron. And Chiron is a wounded warrior. So it shows you everything. It takes a little bit of understanding to get to this point of being able to just see that it's all elemental. So if you have some questions or you want some feedback as to how to understand and read it, just let me know. This also gives you the world map of time zones. So I think that's really helpful because it's like, oh, if something is happening at this time, you know, what are other people feeling in the world, or how, or what types of events were happening where when that happened, it impacted all of this other stuff, right? Or how is it that they coughing and I'm coughing and we're on two separate time, you know, two separate parts of the world. So it's not, we're not as separated, we're not as different. This isn't as odd as it may seem. There are no coincidences in this universe that we live in. Everything happens for a reason. If you want more awareness of how to use that energy, this is where I step in, right? So as a person who studies and practices psychology and counseling and mental health, also practicing spirituality and wellness, all things that are positively flowing and intuitive to our natural beings. Everybody has gifts. I remember riding the train when I was younger, going to Milwaukee, and I was listening to Lauryn Hill Unplugged, and I heard these words so clearly, and I thought it just changed my life. And she said, everyone has gifts, you know, special gifts. And I had heard the album before, and I had listened to it and bopped to it and, you know, cried to it a little bit. But for some reason, when I heard it, I was just like, they do. And so our gifts are within us, and it is up to us to identify that spiritually with purpose. And so when I talk about spiritual wellness, I'm not talking about or reducing it or limiting it or only discussing a specific practice or a dogma or religion or something like that. I'm talking about you. You are the spirit, you are the purpose, you are the reason for it all. And that's all of the yous, right? I have a podcast, and I think I posted it here on YouTube, where we just recently kind of talked about that and unwrapped some of that. What is the self? What is self-love? And self-love is knowing thyself. To thine own self be true. It's not selfish. It's not vain. It's not problematic. But it is important to know yourself. So I won't get too far off into that because I want to give some insights as to how to use the planets and the trines and the different things that are happening right now and all the time. Right? So for this week, you want to take a look at your Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus. With Mercury, you want to look at intellect and communication. This is your communication style. So let's say, for instance, depending on the house or you know, what have you, let's say, for instance, Mercury is in your Scorpio, right? And Scorpio is about I deserve. And so when it comes to communication with Scorpio in this planet or in this, you know, this planetary house, what do you How do you communicate what you deserve? Are you doing it assertively? Are you doing it so that it unlocks your freedom and ensures that it doesn't trap someone else's, right? You don't, this isn't about taking away from, the universe is an additive universe. So this is a time, this is a place where we grow, we expand. You don't, if you are big and someone else is small, you're not big because they're small. They're not small because you're big. You're big because you're big. They're small because they're small. And it doesn't take away from the growth or the ability or the purpose that both have, right? So when it comes to communication, let's say, for instance, if it's in Scorpio, it's about I deserve. How do you communicate what you deserve? How do you use your throat chakra to open up and liven your intent, your ability, your position, your worth, right? If we look at Jupiter and we're talking about luck, where's Jupiter? Let's say, for instance, Jupiter is in I have, right? Or excuse me, it's in Taurus. Taurus is I have, okay? And let's say that with luck, with expansion and enjoyment, it's about maybe you only feel as though you can have expansion and enjoyment when you have things. And what types of things do you have? Do you have to have, you know, a nice watch, a wonderful house, a slim, thick body, 85 friends, and this, and that, in order to have enjoyment, in order to have expansion? Is that truly what it is for you? Or can you intuitively tap in and say, oh, if I have a nice scenery, and you know, if I had breakfast or lunch or dinner or all, or I've had a nice little walk through the park, I've been able to ground myself, or I have an ability to recognize my worth, and I love that. Is that enough? Right? This is a time for us to intentionally analyze who we are and not judge it, not criticize it, not blame it, not shame it. Be aware of it, know it, trust it, believe it, okay? Lastly is Uranus, and Uranus is about freedom. It's about eccentricity, and Uranus is about how you change. So let's take a look at Sagittarius, right? IC. And with Sagittarius, for instance, if Uranus is in Sagittarius for your chart, and you're talking about IC, okay, so how do you believe what you see? How do you practice observing, right? Not just seeing with your eye, with your natural retinas and cones and pons and all of that stuff that takes place in this muscle that goes, you know, into a circuitry that sends out signals, that gives out interpretations of different things that may or may not be happening, because people who don't have vision can still see. So how do you practice that? If there's something that you want to change, that you want to shift, that you want to create differently, how do you see it? Do you practice seeing it? Or does it frustrate you? Does it irritate you to see what you see? And if so, how do you change? Now, this is not about, oh, but I don't have this thing, or I don't have that thing. Okay, so if you feel like you don't have something, maybe you need to take a look at Saturn as well, because Saturn is about destiny and life lessons, but it's also about limitations. So how do you believe things are for you? All right. And what I may do is put some of the names, the keywords of the signs, so that you can follow. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. All right. So that's that on that. Now, let's move a little bit into the messages for today. I'm going to try this. Okay. I'm going to try this. Okay, so let's see how this goes. I have the let's see, what's it called? I have the little yogi here. And then I'm also going to use the floral healing. These cards here, I received these cards. I got these cards. I purchased these cards from Amazon. It's called Mr. Pen. They're just affirmation cards, and so we'll see what those have for us. I also have these yoga cards because I believe that life is to be fun. I purchased these cards years ago from Dollar Tree. And I should have bought like the whole box. I have the beginners and advanced. It's for kids, it's yoga for kids. But I think that life is meant to be fun. And so I incorporate this every once in a while because movement is good. And for those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, the ancestors are always in the building. This is the Voodoo Tarot from McQuiller. What's her name? What's her name? Tiana Lee McQuiller. Well, thank you, sis. Thank you. So we're going to start off with a quick message from the ancestors. And I just do this so that you all can see. I'm going to take some more of my coffee. This is mushroom coffee. I love it. It's so tasty. I put some cloves and some cinnamon sticks in it, and I start my day. The brand is it's in Kroger. I'll have to, if you're interested, I can post it. Let's see what the messages are from the ancestors. What messages do we have for today to support us in understanding this new moon? Okay. And maybe even some of the trines that are coming to assist us in our growth and expansion. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Okay. At the bottom, we have them bones. This is the judgment card. It's 10. So what popped out was the 3 of coins. This is my Beyonce card. I'll explain it in a minute. And then the 10 of sticks popped out, right? Don't worry. And then the 4 of sticks. So this is a beautiful, harmonious time for us to come together. Maybe even to, because you have, 2 here and 2 here, 11, 11. So maybe we're walking through our destinies. Maybe it's time for us to wake up to some of the things that are coming into play. The judgment is at the bottom of the deck, them bones. So don't be surprised by what may be showing up for you once you start to take a deeper look in. Also, don't be surprised if the things that you've worked hard for, maybe something that was taken away or something that you didn't, you no longer had access to, goes away, because judgment, it's coming back. All right. And sometimes things have to go away in a certain way so that you can really have what is meant for you to have. Okay. That's that on that. Now, the 3 of coins, we have 3, 10, and 4. They didn't fall out. They didn't fall out the way that I'm going to show it, but they fell out the way I'm going to show it. So we have the 3 of coins. Now I said this is my Beyonce card. Okay, so coins represent money, pentacles, right? Wealth of some type, and she is here. She's protected. She's straight. She has on 2 chains, one of a wishbone and the other has a cross. She has a stack of money here with her little money clip. She has, I think it's like maybe like a crystal ball, but there's like a match. There's two matches here that are being lit towards something. And then there's a potion, like a water, what you call it, mason jar full of like stuff, oils, sand, rock, whatever she needs to feel protected, whatever you need to feel protected, whatever. It's a 3, right? So this is like the Trinity. Whatever you need to feel protected, tap into it and look at her face. Like, she doesn't look bothered. She doesn't. She's like, it's cool. I'm cool. It's all good. And the three signs that I asked you to look into, I said four, I said Saturn if you were interested, but you don't necessarily need it. The three that you need are Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus. How are they working together for you? How are you working together for you? Right? How are you activating the thing that you need, setting it with intention? And then we have the 10 of Sticks. And I'm going to open the book because I want to see this is a plant. This is a specific plant here. Let me go to it. This is the book. Tarot Voodoo. Maybe it's easier if I show it up here. This is the book, Voodoo Tarot. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the 10 of Sticks. So sticks represent, excuse me, sticks represent our power, right? And with our power comes great responsibility. Now she is climbing up this mountain to get this plant. I want to pull out the plant because I started to get my floral healing cards, and I think I might use them because this plant is here. If I can find the name of, and it's the 10 of Sticks, and 10 is about an ending. So let me tell you, so this 3 of coins came out actually upside down, but I don't necessarily feel like reversals. People always understand what reversals are, so I put it upright because this is upside down. It's a missed opportunity, and perhaps there was, because she's climbing up, right, and she's trying to get to this next level. Them sticks on her back, though, them hard. It's been hard times, and there's fruit at the end of those hard times. What do you see? What do you believe? If you have been willing, going, now it's time, later on, we're going to be able to analyze, what are you looking at? What do you want now, right? Maybe it felt like there was a missed opportunity somewhere. So just shift it. You don't have to do what somebody else says. So here, there's going to be some lifted loads, right? There's going to be some lifted loads because what has occurred. Oh, I was supposed to look for the plant. Get distracted sometimes. Thank you. Thank you for being so kind. What has occurred, right? Here in the 4 of Sticks, there's been some reconciliation. There's been some, it's going to be all right, right? And now it's like, yeah, because those loads are lifted. We also saw judgment at the end, at the bottom of the deck. So it's like, yeah, you've done all that you can, all that you could. You've done the good work, you've done the hard work. And so now let me take care of you. Let me help you out. Let me show you a good time. And you don't have to get this from anybody else. You can get it for yourself, right? So the 10 of Sticks is the Bay Starvina. And this is, it's not a plant that's easy to find, but it's known as a wonderful fatigue fighter and anti-aging medicine. So if you're tired of the same old, it's okay, get out of it. It's ending soon. Yay! Yay! Just trust it. Okay. I'm gonna pull the happy yoga. Yeah. Trust it. See yourself for yourself. Believe in you. Okay. I got these because the faces are brown and they have 4-leaf clovers on them. So I like that. I like brown faces and I like 4-leaf clovers. I like all faces, a lot of faces. Okay, so it says, one should make sure that there is always enough room for fluff in the head and butterflies in the belly. One should make sure that there's always room for fluff in the head, there's the fluff, and butterflies in the belly. Always make sure that you have room to grow. Always make sure that you have room for mistakes. Always make sure that if something comes in and shows up as it feels as though it's a missed opportunity, there's always a way to turn that around. And when you reconcile, right? When you reconcile, and actually it should be this way. So when you've had this heavy load lifted, maybe you need to go back and reconcile. maybe you need to go back and demonstrate, I apologize, I forgive, right? And even if you don't apologize, just put some forgiveness in it. And it doesn't have to be with another person. Ultimately, forgiveness is with self, but understand there may be some opportunities that come in with that forgiveness. All right, let's take a look at the yoga positionings that could be helpful for today, if you're into that type of thing. Well, okay, that was at the bottom. So some things at the bottom are coming to the top. The supine spinal twist. This is a good resting pose. This is good after a long day. Lift that right leg up, put that left hand on top of that knee and turn that right knee towards the left side of the body and put that head over to the right side. Yeah. Supine spinal twist. All right. We're going to take an affirmation, and then I am going to use this floral healing to see what else is happening for us today. 2, 3, 4 popped out. Let's get a little bit more clear on that. Shuffle it one more good time. Have a good time. Love overcomes every obstacle. Love overcomes every obstacle. And it does. This is the floral healing. Love does overcome every obstacle. And you know why? Because to hate or to dismiss or to pretend like something doesn't exist or that it's not impactful, that hurts more. That hurts more than love. You can love something and send it off. You don't have to treat it mean or treat it kind or treat it unkind. And I don't mean this in speaking with another person. I mean it with self. You can have something that has occurred, right? Which is why this 3 of coins is here. And maybe she needs to be upside down. So I'll let her be that way. This three of coins is here, and it's opposite position to say like, hey, yeah, maybe it does feel like something or someone or you dropped the ball, and you just keep going, keep working, because things are going to get better. And maybe you need to circle back around and give some forgiveness somewhere, because there's an opportunity. When you do that, love overcomes it. Make sure there's always enough room for fluffs in the head and butterflies in the belly. Chill. It will be okay. You know how rare it is. This flower, this plant here, it's so rare to get there, but you have to do the work to get there. So if something was a missed opportunity, if something didn't happen that you wanted to happen, trust that you'll find your your 4-leaf clover, right? With love. With love. And sometimes we need to just take that time out, take a look at who we are, what we are, how we are, and then we go ahead and move into our rightful spaces. Okay. So we have honeysuckle, and we have calendula, which kind of looks like a what do you call it? A sunflower, right? So we have honeysuckle, which is about climbing, and we have calendula, which is unity. Who's climbing? Who's climbing, right? This says there are times when staying firmly planted on the ground is important, and there are times when climbing is essential. What if we got comfortable with the twists and the turns? What if we got comfortable with the twists and the turns? What if we embraced the switchbacks rather than running straight to the end? What if we embraced the setbacks or switchbacks instead of running straight to the end? Right? What if we allowed ourselves, so 3 and 4, it's a progression. What if we allowed ourselves to get out of the straight lines and the boxes. And we just lived zigzagging, moving, coursing through our lives. What would that look like? Then we have calendula, and this is about unity. This is about unity. Unity. Okay. Calendula offers us the gift of healing through unity. Its flower head is composed of many small flowers called florets and is arranged in a way that each element lends to the beauty of the whole. Oh, excuse me. With a newfound state of oneness, a condition of health comprised of continuity and harmony, inner peace is close at hand, and flames of inspiration. She has flames. She has flames here, right? So if something has fallen, she has flames. If there's been a setback, you can recharge it, right? What personal strengths do you possess to release pain and unite your spirit? That's it on that. Look at your Mercury, look at your Jupiter, look at your Uranus, right? What personal strengths do you possess to release pain and unite your spirit? This is time. Happy new moon, right? Welcome. Welcome to wellness. It is time to renew, to unite, to come together, and to close all of those doors, close all of those chapters that say, oh, I didn't do this right this way, or this thing didn't work out in that way. It's fine. It'll be okay. You will be okay. Love overcomes every obstacle. I hope this message was well. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can subscribe to the channel. You can send me a message on Instagram. All of the information will be in the description box below. And I hope to see you around next week. This will be weekly on Wednesdays until I decide it's going to be something else, and then I'll let you know. But other than that, have a great, wonderful Wednesday. Don't forget, be kind, be fun, and be well. Bye for now.